Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
As I prepared for Shabbat this week, I thought that I would be talking about immigration. I thought that I'd be talking about the ICE raids that have happened in Omaha and around our country. I thought that we would be speaking about the marches and the protests, one of them happening right now as we speak on the way to the College World Series. I thought I would be talking about the many ways that we in our community and in Jewish communities all over the country have been able to give voice to the vulnerable throughout our history. In one place in Omaha this week, 76 people were arrested, not to mention hundreds more throughout the country. So as I walked into Shabbat this week over the last few days, I really thought that I'd be thinking and speaking and discussing with you about the 36 times in our Torah that we're commanded to treat the stranger as one of our own, with dignity and respect and kindness and caring, because we too were once strangers in a foreign land. And then the events of last night happened, and Israel launched an operation to dismantle Iran's nuclear facilities and capabilities. It was done as an act of protection and self-defense against a regime that has been nothing but clear about its intentions to destroy Israel. And yet, even as we take this all in, we take in the panic and the trauma and the pain and the heartache, and the knowledge that there are innocent people on every side of every equation that are suffering, who are caught up in military operations, innocent Iranians, innocent Israelis. And so as I've prepared for Shabbat today from last night, I've been trying to think about how it is that we're going to hold all of these things from this past week in our hands, because it is so much more than any one sermon or any one Devar Torah can possibly encompass. In fact, I think it is more than any one human can deal with all at the same time. Many of us are thinking about our family members or our friends who live in Israel. As I was telling Rabbi and Cantor just before services, my cousins who live in Renana, which is a suburb of Tel Aviv, he was supposed to get married on Sunday, and they're potentially postponing the wedding given what's happening. And we know that there are innocent lives that were lost in these attacks. There are innocent people, and there is suffering throughout the lands. And so as I thought about what I wanted to talk about, because I don't think that we are yet at a point to understand what's happening in order to really discuss it with any level of assurances or certainty, what I really wanted to think about and talk with you all this Shabbat is the fact that we are here at Shabbat Shirah together. And Shabbat Shirah is our service of song. It is our service that brings in the music of Shabbat. And so what I was thinking about and what I looked to today was a book by Joey Weissenberg, who wrote the Torah of Music. And I was looking to him for a little piece of wisdom as I thought about what Shabbat Shirah could do, because in so many ways, Shabbat, and this particular Shabbat for so many of us, is a balm to our broken souls. And that's what I want to think about with you all tonight. So I brought a little piece of his Torah that I want to share with you, and then we can talk about for a moment. So Joey writes, "Music is a thread of mercy, a connective cord of compassion that takes hold of even the farthest reaches of creation and the most divergent ways of existing, and pulls them ever closer together. The prophet Isaiah imagined, from the ends of the earth we have heard songs. Music represents the all-man's land, between each of our usual entrenched positions, in which the holy connects with the profane, the fixed reaches towards the unfixed, the old becomes new, the angelic meets the human, and the eternal engages with the ephemeral. When we sing, sound merges with silence, sadness with joy, slavery with freedom, poor with rich, night with day, sound with sight, animal with human, war with peace, and perfection with imperfection. Music acts as a mystical interface that connects all of the poles, urging them to talk to each other and to express the life that's contained among all of them. We need not erase all differences of opinions or experience to arrive together at music. On the contrary, music occurs in the dialogue between the otherwise disparate and detached elements of the world. Song emerges from the reconciliation of different ideas when we hear each other's experiences and prayers, when we listen for each other's essences, even as we as individuals or families may choose widely divergent paths for ourselves. Music in this sense represents a form of pluralism. Music is itself born of a dissonant dialogue, a vibrant debate between the tendencies toward resolution and tension, moments of sympathetic vibrations and harmony, where all of the notes feel at ease yield to moments of tension, where the notes push against each other and clash in conflict. Music grows from the dialogue between the two harmonic poles of consonance and dissonance. And as I think about the ways that we are in this tension in our own communities throughout the world of this pull and pull, this dissonance, this tension, this warring of how we hold all of these painful moments with so much uncertainty. This is a Shabbat of uncertainty. How do we hold that in our hands? Sometimes there aren't enough words to get us an answer. But sometimes music can be the answer. Sometimes prayer can be the answer. And that's why we're all here in this sanctuary tonight. Because at the heart of it, even if we couldn't articulate what it is that we needed to hear, what we needed to see, feel, experience, what I think Jewish community has the power of doing is bringing us to Shabbat every week, to engaging with liturgy, to connecting with community, and to singing together, and to allowing the music of prayer to enter into our hearts and souls and bring us together in ways that words sometimes can't do. So even if we disagree strongly, even passionately, fervently with somebody else, we can sit alongside each other and pray together and sing together and find meaning in that connection and even in that uncertainty, because we can be in community together. And so I'd like to end this section with a poem, because I was also looking at a poet named Alan Salovey. I bring many of his poems here. This is a poem that is called Carry Me. And as I think about what Joey Weissenberg is teaching and this need to carry and to balance, this notion of balance has come in several times tonight, both in our music and in the physical nature of balancing. Carry me. God, carry me today with your love, your grace, your wisdom and strength. God, carry me today with your power, your justice, your holiness and law. God, carry me today through stormy winds and rough seas, the obvious and the unforeseen, challenges and losses, the uneven flow of my emotions, my fears and my shames. Today, God on high, I will not succeed alone. I will not survive alone. I need your majesty and might, your dignity and righteousness to carry me through the day ahead. With you as my rock and my shield, I will face this day with an answer to loneliness and dread, misgiving and mistakes, to stand with courage and freedom against misfortune and deceit. God, carry me today. Give me healing hands, a quiet mind, gentle speech, and a forgiving heart. Let me feel you in my chest. Let me feel you in my limbs. Let me feel you by my side. Blessed are you, God of all. You are the answer to those in need. Amen.